Believe Nation, how we doing? Happy Friday! Happy Friday! Happy Friday! Time to go live. Today's been an interesting day. Ask us. Hold on. Ask your. Hold on. Ask your questions. There we go. It's coming. Ask your questions below. Ask your questions below. Put that in. Post that up. Post it. Hold on. Post it. Pin comment. Hold on. Where's Mark? Where's Mark? There's Mark. Okay, let's bring Mark in. Let's bring Mark in. Do some Q&A. Get your questions ready. We are ready. We are ready. Jeff, my man, your videos inspire me. Awesome, man.
Where's Mark? Where's Evan?
Where's Mark? Where's Evan? We're here. We're doing, dude. So Mark messaged me 2 minutes ago. Said, "Hey, where's our live?" Like, oh man, I totally forgot. I had my brain ripped apart earlier today. Yeah, I haven't felt this way in a while. So I had this. There's an expert who runs millions of dollars in YouTube specific campaigns, YouTube ads for funnels, and I helped him with his YouTube channel. Then he said, "Hey, I'm happy to help you." So he did a deconstruction of mostly my YouTube course funnel, but also the book funnel bit. And he was going so deep with like a giant list of recommendations. He's like, "You should be doing 20 to 50K a month just from your YouTube course sales," and like deep on. I was like, "Oh my god, my brain is hurting. I have pages and notes. My brain is hurting. It's 2 hours in. I have to pee so badly. My brain is on fire." Anyway, and
here we are.
Here we are. So this is the bonus episode of the Something Poo podcast. We take your questions and we have fun. We're gonna mix it up. We're gonna jam it out. Mark's in a striped shirt. I've never seen him in a striped shirt, so this is gonna be a fire episode.
This is a work shirt. This is what we call that. This is a shirt that used to fit me, and now it's too big for me. So,
It's happening. It's his work shirt now. Okay, so pop your questions below. We're gonna answer them. First one, Jeff the entrepreneur. Oh, you can read it. Okay, so
one thing to look for when hiring someone.
Okay, hold on. One thing you look for when hiring somebody.
Yes. So we're actually going through the hiring process right now because today is someone's last day on my team who's been with me for 8 years. He's moving on to a new opportunity, which is sad for me, but we're thick in the interviewing process. And so I think a lot of it depends on your skill set. So what I've learned, having hired a whole bunch of people, is that I'm not actually the best at hiring people because I tend to operate on hopes and dreams and potential. And I find it really hard to actually test people's skill set. So you have to remove that from the equation. I find it challenging to get a sense of whether I'm asking leading questions and they're just nodding along, or whether they can actually live up to what I want them to do or understand. So I've had a partner help me with this. Sometimes it's Evan. Evan has literally come over and sat in on our interviews, so that way when I'm interviewing,
some awkward ones,
he can say, "Wow, you guys have totally missed all of these things." Loui, my COO, is now amazing at the initial hiring process. But the question is, what do I look for when hiring someone? I look for, one, excitement. I believe that excitement in work will carry you much further than anything other than maybe obsession. And so I look for that. I look to see whether they can convey to me that they want it, that they have room to grow, that they're excited about what we're building. I can only really work with builders. So if they're going to come in and just say, "Tell me what to do and I'll help out," I need to work with people who, at the very least, will take a sense of ownership over their role and help me develop it and build it into whatever version is going to have them succeed the most. So those are more now the things that I look for, aside from simply skill set, aside from can they do the job. You know, we do tests with people. We have a lot of conversations around the practical side of things, but I want to know that they're excited. I want to know that they're going to help build their role at the very least. And have a sense of ownership over it, and that I won't have to just tell them or have their manager tell them what to do every single step along the way.
Yeah, I mean, I outline my hiring process in your one word. Mark likes talking about your one word a lot. I've been so in built to serve mode. that I've kind of forgotten about your one word, but I was on an interview yesterday.
Your one word is a great book to follow up Built to Serve. Get your copy of Built to Serve now, and then follow that up with your one word.
I'm still like, I don't know which one should come first. I don't know. I like them both. But I was walking through, because your one word is figuring out your most important core value and then applying it to every area of your business, which includes hiring. So if you're trying to figure out how to hire, your one word is a much better read than Built to Serve. So I was walking through this with somebody, with a duo on a podcast yesterday, and then I realized, man, your one word is such a good book. Like I forgot how good a book it is.
You don't look back or think back, so you don't even remember the fact that you spent a year writing it.
It's a different lifetime.
All those walks to Whole Foods, where you used to hold your iPad and talk to the camera and do this and answer questions.
It's a great. I'm just looking at it right now. It's a great book. Anyway. My hiring process is in there, as well as Mark's, as well as a whole bunch of other people who built it around their core value. The thing I would add on top of that, just the nuts and bolts, is I want to love the person. I want to get a good feeling about the person. I think ultimately all of us are feelers, and you just need to hone that in a little bit better. I just launched the Black Excellence YouTube channel, and I brought on Devon Trish to be the creative director for the channel, and here's a guy who's been involved in my community. He had a 1,200 plus day of consecutive comment streak. Think how long that is, right? It's almost 3 years consecutive, not missing a single day of commenting on one of my videos. I don't even know anything about him. Like, I know a little bit. He's an actor. He's a model. He's moved from Chicago to LA. But he's a good dude. He's got a good vibe. And it feels like he's the right guy for the job. And so I guess, to Mark's point about excitement, I guess his excitement for the role, but I want to love the person. I just want to get a good feeling about the person. Yeah, that's what I look for.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes, I want Loui to love the person. I want Evan to love the person. I tend to fall into the trap of loving the idea of the person, whether that's them or not. And so I like to bring in some hardcore feelers into the mix, see what they have to say. But if someone is super jazzed and super excited, I think that will cover up so many things. Because if you have a deficiency in a certain skill set and you're super excited to try and crush it, learn it, or whatever it is, or about the role, you're going to put in the time, you're going to put in the effort, you're going to make the risks, you're going to research about it. Like, that's the terminology I use, because I just can't have chill people around me. It's just, I can't read them. Like, if you're too chill, if you're not worried, if you're not stressed, if you're like, yeah, no worries, we got this, everything's cool. Like, I can't read that person. I'm not skilled. I don't have the skills to figure out what is really happening behind the scenes. So I just need that passion or excitement.
All right. Next question. Apkomaraman. Oh, I hope I got that okay. How to look for a mentor.
So this is funny because one of the questions I actually ask the people in the interviewing process is, you're a product of the 5 people that you listen to, the 5 voices in your life, the 5 things the people that you choose to allow to influence your life, whether that's through podcasts or books or the content you consume or the shows that you watch or the people that you speak to or the people you live with. Dude, those people will impact you.
Dude, you just asked that. You can't ask it like that.
I'm not asking a question. This is a lead-in.
No, but you said, what do you actually ask in the
what do I ask?
Yeah,
so I say that, product? And then...
No, but that's the problem.
No, hold on. I asked that, and then I say...
No, that's a problem. So, why is that a problem?
You're a byproduct of the people that...
Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem?
Because people don't know what the word byproduct means?
No,
what?
Jesus Christ. No, it directly contradicts one of the things that you say you don't want to do.
Which is ask leading questions?
Yes!
Yes. But hold on. But here's the question then. So what I do is I say, I don't ask them whether they believe it or not. I say, who are the people who speak into your life? I want to know which people speak into your life.
It's all wrong. It's all wrong. Nobody, first of all, if you say, I believe that you are a product of the 5 people that you hang out, nobody's going to say, I don't believe that in a job.
I'm not asking them whether they believe it or not. I want to know who in their life. I want to know if it's their grandfather, is it their mom. I want to know who it is.
He's not even listening. He's not even listening. Of course you're not going to ask that question. That's like the stupidest of stupid questions.
What are you
You're
talking
asking,
about?
no, to say, I believe this. Do you believe this too? Of
I'm
course you're,
not. Oh,
dude,
okay.
I know.
Okay.
That's not even, I wouldn't even think you would ask such a stupid question. You're asking a leading question in that
Yes.
you're now making them think of people that they actually listen to so that they can look good in front of you and answer that question. As opposed to just saying, hey, who are your biggest influences? What YouTube channels or podcasts or TV shows or mentors do you have? Without the leading of you are a product of the people you listen to. Yeah, you got to eliminate that
Perfect.
setup. You got to kill that
Perfect.
setup.
It's
It's
dead.
anti what
It's
you want to do,
dead.
and just
Excellent.
ask them.
Thank you for the feedback, Evan.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the mentorship.
Okay, great. So
I
how do you
believe
look
you're
for
a
mentor?
byproduct of the 5 people that you listen to and below.
Such
So
a
lot of
leading
times,
question. It's ridiculous. You can't ask that.
a lot of times when we think of mentorship, we think of this, like, hey, Evan, man, can we go out for coffee? Can we meet? Can you ask me about my life? Can you keep me accountable? Can I tell you what my goal is, and you're going to somehow help me figure out that one single goal? We think of mentorship as that type of thing. Someone stepping in to our life, taking us under their wing, and then doing everything for us and telling us what to do. And I think that's how movies portray it. I think that's how TV shows portray it. But honestly, if you're looking for a mentor, one, you can do that digitally. The 5 people I was talking to, like I learned this from Evan. The people that I consume every single day. So I listen to podcasts, I read, I follow their Instagram, whatever it is. The people that I listen to every day have a way of shaping my beliefs and my thinking. They have a way of showing me what's possible. And so I try to listen to those people that inspire me, that excite me, that challenge me, that shape my way that I think every single day. And that is mentorship. I talk to people. I talk to friends, and I'm willing to admit when I'm having a problem, which most people aren't willing to do. I'm willing to look for casual mentors, like not a formal mentorship type program where I go up to someone and I say, hey, can you give me 2 hours every single month? Like, that's too much of a commitment. As I'm talking to people, I say, I'm struggling with this, and I'm willing to be revealing and honest, and then look for their advice. And sometimes I listen to it and sometimes I don't. And then I think Evan and I, we talk quite often, but, I look to someone like Evan. But even when we met 13, 14 years ago, he was running a local mentorship group, a peer mentoring group where a bunch of us got together. Evan wasn't Evan 14 years ago. He was a different version of himself that he can't even remember. And
14 years ago.
the point is that we just got he was a few years ahead of me in business because he's so much older than I am. But we had different businesses, and we would just talk about our problems and try to solve them together. Look where we are now.
I was laughing because somebody says Mark for Prez in the comments.
President of what? My homeowner association or something?
Yeah, there you go. We're Canadian. We can't run for president. Even thinking back to how we started off this whole conversation was I got my face pounded in today for 2 hours by an expert on YouTube ads. I was invited to join a group because I'm great at what I do with YouTube stuff. And I gave a presentation on YouTube. And then one of the guys, I said again, hey, if anybody has any questions, let me know. When this guy had a question, I said, why don't we hop on a Zoom call? And I helped him, I don't know, a week or two ago on his channel what he needed to do. He's like, hey, I'd love to return the favor. I'm great at YouTube ads. Let me break down your campaigns. He's like, okay, yeah. And he just kicked my butt. Yeah, I haven't felt this out of also because I'm not the one who I'm struggling to understand things that I don't necessarily need to understand. I'm not gonna be doing all the little changes and tweaks. So that's part of it. But he kicked my butt. Hopefully it works. I'm struggling right now to find who Mark and I talked to somebody to help us with our book funnel stuff, and we tried to apply it, and it didn't work. So this is the guy who's going to give us what we need. And we applied it, and it was worse than our other stuff. So now what? You find the next guy, right? Or we go back to the guy and say, can you look at it again? And it didn't work. Where are we the dummies? What happened? Fix it, So it's reaching out to people because you're also giving them some kind of value, right? Because you're helping in some way. So think about the people that you want to get in touch with. How can you provide some kind of value to them? What are they promoting? What are they talking about? What's on their mind right now? And then just doing the work, right? Like there was a girl who came on my, Stephanie came on my IG Lives, I forget when, it was this week. She DM'd me out of nowhere to say, I've got this new song called Believe, right? Okay, I'll take a listen. And right in the first 5 seconds, I'm already hooked on this song. This is like full folksy song, soul to it. And she comes on. So then I invite her to say, hey, I love this song. Legit, I really like this song. I have no idea who you are, but I want you to come on. Like, how about we do an IG Live together, and you can do a performance, like a concert, like come and sing Believe. And so we did that, and then I pushed her afterwards she's got such a great voice, but it's so locked up in perfectionism of like studio and everything. Just sing, just get a guitar for the next 30 days and just sing something in your soulful voice. And then she did it. Like that day, she posted an Avicii song, and she turned it into like this soulful Avicii song. And so now I'm following her. I'm posting on, like, I want to see her win because she's also taking the advice, right? For all of these people, like all of you guys who are asking questions, do something about it. The number of people who then come back a second time, Jeff, who just asked about hiring, apply it and try to go hire somebody and see what happens. And either it worked or it didn't work, and you come back and ask the second question. The number of people who come back and ask the second question without ever having done anything on the first one is ridiculous. And that makes you a crappy mentee. You want to get a good mentor? Stop being a crappy mentee. Take the advice and do something before you come back. Peace.
I like it.
Okay.
Peace. Next.
It's true. Okay. Cafayes la tartarie.
Wow. That's probably
Jinx.
that's probably like a
French.
Yes. I was going to say
I don't know. The first word is
Africana or something.
Nina saying peace in the comments. Okay. Have been running a cafe since 12 years without growing. I'd like to make the next step. So running a cafe for 12 years has not grown in 12 years. What's the next step?
So, I mean, I guess the initial questions I would have is, are you talking about revenue growth? Because could it just be that, I don't know if you've tried everything that you need to try in order to grow a cafe within a single space. Are you having music nights? Are you trying to bring new people in from the community? Are you trying to increase foot traffic? Are you trying to be a central hub? Have you freshened things up? Have you changed the look every few years to make sure that it stays fresh? You know, like I have retail clients and I'm thinking of all the things that they do. Typically every 3 to 5 years, we're doing a complete refresh, to ensure that it stays fresh, it stays different, that you're bringing foot traffic in. Do you have an online presence? Are you active on social media? Like all of these things can increase to a point, but you may have hit, if you are doing all of these things and you're doing them to the best of your ability, you may have hit the revenue ceiling for your local geography, and you may need to look to expand to a second or third or fourth. But chances are you haven't done all of those things. Like chances are, you've run the business for the last 12 years the way that you kind of fell into running the business, and you've tried some things here and there, but you may just need to take a step back and look at it with fresh eyes and ask yourself, what would you do if you had to start all over again? What would you change? What would you do differently? How would you lay things out? What kind of vibe would you have? What kind of feeling would you have? What is it that you stand for? You know, if you lost everything and had to start again with this, what would you do? Because in any kind of retail environment, which a cafe is, staying fresh, staying different, understanding your customers, what they want, what they're looking for, and building a community will take you far.
I'm going to take a slightly different approach on this one. I think there's something that you're great at. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be around for 12 years. Like, there's a reason why you started this company. There's something inside of running it that you're great at. Marketing and growth is not it. It's been 12 years. Like, you might be great at operations, but you suck at marketing and growth. You might be great at caring about your customers and creating a warm, awesome vibe, or having the best coffee or awesome recipes or whatever. There's something that's working for sure. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be in business 12 years later. But marketing and growth is not the thing that you lean in on or care about. If I'm you, I either partner with or hire somebody to be in charge of marketing and growing the business. And you stick to what you're awesome at. There's something inside your business that you're great at, and that's what I want you to double down at instead of trying to worry about, like, honestly, as I hear Mark say these ideas, if I'm you, I'm like getting stressed out. It's like me on the call that I was just on, like, oh my God, I got to do social media, and I got to do press releases, and I got to do all this stuff. And it's like, you don't want to do any of that crap. That's exactly what has to get done, and you don't want to do any of it. That's the problem. You need to have the person who wants to do that stuff and bring them in because you're great at something.
Before you move on, I just have to say that this Evan's advice is very, very good advice. I used to work a long time ago before I started my company. I worked for a franchisor, and we'd be selling businesses. And every business needs some type of operational delivery type person, or that hat, and a marketing or sales branding type person, or that hat. And it's very hard because most of us entrepreneurs only have one side of that, as Evan's saying. I've run my business since 2006. And as much as we've grown it, it was only when I brought on Loui as a COO a year and a half ago, so like 13 years into my business, that we started to actually have both sides of what Evan's talking about, right? I can handle the sales and marketing. I'm terrible at operations. So that lack of operations kept us from growing. As Evan's saying, you may be great as operations. You need to bring in someone else. It's painful. It's expensive. You aren't sure if you can do it. You're not sure if it'll work. I'm just going on this way because I'm trying to tell you on the other side of this now, a year and a half later, it is the answer, and it does work.
Yeah, I mean, you're great at something. I don't know what that thing is, but you can't be in business and not be great at something. Everybody's freaking out in the comments about where's Nina. Nina! Everybody, like, people are freaking out in the chat. Like, all these people are messing. Where's Nina? Where's Nina? Okay, we're going to take you. Okay, there's Nina. She got her own setup.
What?
Her own stand-up desk.
She's not in your room anymore.
Because my office is too cold for her. So she's out here in the warm.
You keep it at like 55.
Like 56 Fahrenheit.
See, I said 55.
That's cold.
It's amazing, guys. Listen, it's so much better being in the cold. Anyway, Nina's got this corner office with her new planters and her stand-up desk.
Where does she do her puzzles?
And the puzzle table is gone because she didn't
puzzle
do the
table's
puzzles.
Gone.
Yeah, she didn't do the puzzle table. Has now become my working desk, which I was doing a live on. That I got to now sign all these books that people bought.
I like it.
Yeah. So this is my working table. I
For
got
our
my
audio listeners, just so you know,
Listeners.
Evan's taking us on a tour around his condo, and Nina looks delightful.
Yeah. People saying, Nina, keep Evan in check. Wow. All right. Okay.
Evan's like a balloon who would just float away if someone wasn't holding him down. Is that right?
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means.
I just made it up.
Okay. We're at 2:26, Mark.
We got time for one more.
Okay. One more. Let's bring it in. Okay.
Unless you want to do rapid fire.
Jonathan Jacob. How to feel motivated when you feel really, really down and sad. Welcome to Mark Jager's home.
I was just going to say, I'm the mayor of this town. I'm the mayor of this town. One, really, if you're able to catch it, think about what environment are you in? How are you feeling? Who's around you? What are you listening to? I caught myself earlier today starting to get really anxious and sad, and I realized that music was playing in the background that was making me remember things that made me sad. And I went, I got to change the song. So first, what's your environment? What's happening? And then how can you change it? So if you're feeling sad, every time that you're sitting down for too long, then you got to get up. If the music's making you sad, you got to put on better music. If the people you're talking to are making you sad and depressed, you got to put on some Evan Carmichael top 10 or whatever it is to get you fired up. If it's too cloudy all the time, you need to turn the lights on or try to get outside in the sun or go for a walk. You need to do something that will basically, for me at least, will basically change just the atmosphere, the attitude of what I'm doing. And then the next thing I do is I ask myself, what can I do right now that would just, I talked about excitement earlier, just excite the hell out of me. And, if that's something like, oh, I could eat this, or I could, that used to be my problem. That's why I was heavy. But if it's like, I could work on this project, or I could call this person, or I know every time I talk to Loui, I get fired up by the end of it, or I listen to this podcast, or I go for a run, or whatever it is. what can I do that I know will make me feel better? And then I move my schedule around to do that. You'll be more productive later if you can do what you have to do now to make yourself feel excited and not so sad and not so down.
So let me ask you something. I don't know how I honestly feel about this, but I'm still processing it. Ned Hollowell is one of the world's leading experts on ADD, ADHD. And he was saying on a clip with Jay Abraham, who's like one of the legends of the marketing world, about people with ADD, when you're feeling anxiety, don't be alone. Because when you're alone, it spirals downwards into negativity and depression. But when you're with someone, it turns up into problem solving. So when you have anxiety and you're alone, it spirals downward. When you have anxiety and you're with somebody, it turns into problem solving. You're gonna solve the problem together. What do you think of that? I don't know if you have ADD, but just in general.
Yeah, I mean, I have anxiety, and I think that's true. I think there's two things I tend to do. I'll either think my way through it as much as I can, and it turns to problem solving anyway. Now, that might be a screw you, I'm going to show you guys what I can do, or how can I cut and burn this down as quickly as possible, or like what action can I take to make myself feel better. But, you know, last week, my wife and I went for a really long walk, and I was having a bad day. I went for a really long walk, an hour and a half, and by the end I said, thank you so much. Like, I just feel so much better just talking this out, like telling you these are the things I'm worried about, and not having someone say, what? Don't worry about that. That's stupid, or whatever it is. It's just like, yeah, that sucks. I can understand that. So I like the idea of it. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, I'm still wrestling with it. It's one of the.
I don't know, dude. If I bring you my worries, you turn them into like either help me explain, you help me understand why they're actually not that big of a deal because I can attack it, or literally as I'm telling you my worries, I realize how foolish they sound. I figure out the answer in my own head. And then I'm like, oh, never mind. Like that happened yesterday on the podcast. Yeah. I was mid-sentence of saying something, and I figured out the answer, and I knew exactly what you would tell me just by verbalizing it.
It might be. I mean, and listen, this guy's one of the foremost experts on it. So, I think it could be a good coping mechanism. I just don't like it. I don't like it as the only solution. I don't like the reliance on someone else. I think that's what bothers me. It's the reliance on someone else to turn your day around.
Listen, there was a time where I would turn to you often, like, you know, maybe a year and a half ago when I was going through depression and stuff like that. I turned to you often, and you were always there to help. And then it became a point where I was like, I feel bad for bringing all of these things to him all the time when obviously I should be able to deal with it myself. And then there came a time where I think I knew what the answers would be in advance. And so now I just bring fewer things to you, but I'm also less anxious than I used to be. So
I'm a big self-reliance proponent. Am I a proponent? Proponer? What's somebody who is, I don't know.
A proponent, yes. An evangelist. You're a self-reliance evangelist.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in self-reliance. Like, I think it's a good muscle to build. I mean, obviously we're all connected, and we all need to help each other, and we're built to serve and all that. But I think just if that's how you deal with it, like the only way you can deal with anxiety is to be with somebody else, I feel like that's not a good enough solution. I think it's a solution that needs to be in your toolkit, but self-reliance needs to be built up more.
Yeah. Advocate. Someone's saying advocate. You're a self-reliance advocate.
But what is a proponent? Is that a person?
A proponent is someone, yes.
It's a person. It doesn't feel like it's a person. It feels like it's a...
No, that's someone or something that pushes something forward.
Yeah, that sounds right. It just doesn't feel like a person is a proponent. I don't know. It's one of those words. The more you say it, the more weird it sounds. Anyway, good. Okay, we solved that. It was sitting with me. I didn't like it. Now I know why I didn't like it fully. I had anxiety, and we talked about it, and we solved it.
You're welcome, Evan. You're welcome.
All right. Guys, that's it for this episode of the bonus Something to Prove podcast episode. Mark, where are they going to learn more?
Well, you can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, blah, 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 all those places. If you just want to look for Something to Prove podcast,
Are
Evan
we
and Mark.
finishing this season soon? When is this season end?
You
When's
asked that
season
last
3?
week. We've talked about that. We're on, I think, episode 14 or 15, and we usually do somewhere between 25 and 30 per season. So
Wow,
we're
we've got
about
a lot of
halfway.
episodes.
Yeah, I think we did 23 in season 1. I think we did 34 in season 2, and then we're 14 into season 3. Those are our main 1-hour episodes, and then we do these half-an-hour bonus episodes. We've done maybe 20 or 30 of them. So there you go.
Okay. Well, happy weekend, everybody, and we'll see you on Monday.
Peace.